word on this computer. Recording in progress. Okay, so welcome back everybody to another fun-filled, exciting week here at Family First Life. I am Kevin Niederauer for the newer guys on the call. So what we do every week is a quick, we try to keep it to about a half hour, 40-minute training call. I like to lead things off with going through the previous week's numbers for FFL Tri-State. So you can see how many people are out writing each week, what the numbers are looking like, what the different agencies are doing on a week-to-week basis, and then what our goals are for our agency as we're trying to grow right now. So we'll start off with that, and then just a couple of quick general announcements, and then we'll go into our training topic. This week we are blessed to have the presence of Mr. Ric Degennaro, good close friend of mine. He and I have been working in the insurance industry together for over a decade. So Ric's got a ton of experience and is going to share with us today one of the most valuable lessons that he learned early on in his FFL career about tying down your appointments when you're making your calls on dial day. He's also going to talk about the importance of holding yourself accountable to your dials and setting goals on dial day and the use of a schedule for when you're on the phones. So without further ado, let me pull up the numbers and share that screen with you guys. Share screen, and here we go. So if you're not currently part of the Serve the People Facebook group for the newer guys on the call, please make sure if you don't have Facebook, it's 2021, get on Facebook. My 75-year-old parents are on Facebook. It's not that hard to do. If you need help, let us know. We have a whole social media department that can help you create a Facebook profile. So as part of FFL Tri-State, we are part of one of the largest communities of FFL agents and managers and support in the entire company. And what's great about our organization is that you're able to learn from not just those of us on the call today, but all throughout the Tri-State family. One of the things that I love about FFL is the family atmosphere that they bring in terms of support. Kim is a huge, resource for us in the office. So is Desmond and a lot of the other folks, and then other agencies and managers across the Tri-State have been super, super helpful to us in terms of being able to learn and grow our business. So these are just some of the numbers from across the organization. First, we have the first-time writers. So these are all brand new folks who just wrote business for the first time. We had over 20 brand new people writing business, and we have new people every single week. So just want you to see a couple of the names here. Paolo Delgado is a guy who's working out of our office in East Hanover, New Jersey now. I've had a chance to talk to him a couple times. Great guy. Each and every week we're having more and more new writers join the team. So it's really exciting to see how fast our organization is growing. And then from there, you can see the total number of writers, which again, every single week is growing like crazy. This week we had 368 writers across FFL Tri-State nationwide out serving the people, helping families, writing policies. A couple of the notable members of our team that are on this list. You have myself. I did a little over $5,000 that week. You also have John Vaccaro, who's a hilarious, awesome guy. If you're ever in the New Jersey office and you get a chance to talk to John, he's a phenomenal resource. And then also Antonio on Joe Vaughn's team. He was out writing again. He's been very, very consistent ever since he started with us. So our goal is to obviously get as many folks from our team onto this list each and every week as possible. So each week we're going to take a look and see what's going on across the organization. And then from there, we have the different agencies. So these two sets here, you have the agencies that were over 10,000. FFL Blue Collar Legacy is a brand new agency, just got their logo. Then the agencies over 20K, you have FFL Ascent, FFL Aviators, Selfless Motion is Carlos Reynoso, who's also in our Tri-State office in East Hanover. So see him on a weekly basis, great guy. And then from here, we have the agencies that did over 50,000 and over 100,000. So these are some of the heavy hitters in the FFL Tri-State family. If you've ever watched a podcast, I'm sure you've heard of Ivan Vedrov of FFL Universe, the #1 agency in our organization, or the legend himself, Steve Giordano, who personally in back-to-back years has produced over $1 million in annualized premium from FFL Health and Wealth. So these are just some of the agencies, and those of us on the call who are looking to grow and build agencies. Obviously, these are the numbers that we're aspiring to, and the goals that we're trying to hit in terms of growing our organization. So that being said, as a team, our goal is to try and hit 25,000 per week. We're getting very, very close each and every week. We were just under that goal last week. And obviously the reason for that is when we're consistently doing 25,000 per week, that translates to about 100,000 per month, which equals our official FFL Garden State logo, which that one right there is not official. I designed that myself, but that's what we're hoping to get to in the very, very near future. So those are just the numbers for the week. I like to show that to keep everybody in perspective of what's possible here at FFL. So that being said, some quick general announcements. I just want to touch again on our Slack. There are so many resources on Slack for you guys, detailed and organized into different channels because I have OCD. So there's tons of resources broken down by in-home, by product knowledge, and we're constantly updating that stuff. If you have requests for things that you'd like to see on there, please DM me anytime. We set up last week a chat channel where you can just throw out general random questions or things that you want to learn more about, and that will go out to the entire group. So that way anybody can respond to it. The other channels, we're going to try to reserve those just for me and the leadership team posting content that will help you grow your business, so it's more resource-based. One of the big things that we added was the training day channel, where we tried to detail all of the different trainings that are available to you every single day of the week. There is so much training available through FFL that's all for free. Kim was actually super kind and helped us partner up with Joe Basso of Family First Life Quality Life Solutions, one of the fastest growing organizations in the whole company. Joe is a phenomenal guy. I've gotten to know him very well, become a good friend. And he was kind enough to give us access to the trainings that his team runs every week. So there's Zoom calls every single day of the week where you can learn about overcoming objections. You can learn about running an in-home. And then obviously there's the trainings that come out from the Tri-State office, like the live dial sessions on Mondays and Thursdays, the 10K per week call with Mark Mead and the guests that he has on there that are consistently writing over $10,000 a week. We have the bullpen session with John Mazzella every Monday at 1 p.m. where John interviews another top successful agent or manager within the Tri-State organization. And then from there, there's the podcasts. As everyone on here knows, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of podcasts available. And every single day of the week, new podcasts are coming out. Tri-State office pumps out at anywhere between 2 to 3 per week with Mark. There's the Monday Morning Wake Up podcast with Paul McLean out on the West Coast. There's the Next Level Live that comes out from FFL Corporate every Friday. There's the AMS training through Sean Ruggiero's group where you can learn advanced market sales and IULs and annuities every Thursday. So there's more than enough training out there. It's up to you as a business owner who's looking to succeed in this business to take advantage of those resources and those tools that are available to you. All right. So that being said, for the sake of time, I'm now going to turn it over to Ric. As I mentioned, Ric Degennaro is a phenomenal guy. I've known him for well over a decade. The previous insurance company he and I worked at, he was one of the top managers year in and year out. Built a very successful team there, but similar to me, realized there was no room for growth, unlike here at Family First Life, where we have exponential room for growth. So Ric and I both came over together. And one of the things that he is really, really good at is dialing the phones, staying focused, staying organized. So Ric's going to talk about how to tie down your appointments, how to hold yourself accountable on dial day, setting a schedule, and some other great word tracks and tips that he's come up with along the way. So without further ado, Ric, I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Kev. You hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, cool. Hey guys, real quick, my background, like Kev said, I was always a phone guy. So for me, making dials was easy. However, one thing I ran into was like, in the beginning, it's like, yeah, just had appointments. And I'm like, perfect. okay, I could call, I could set appointments. I set 19 my first day. I thought I was great. I was, doing backflips on the ride home somehow, even though I was driving. But I thought I thought it was like, oh, I'm the man. I'm the greatest thing in the world. And then I sat with 2 out of 19. And I'm like, okay. And the one thing I always tell everyone, myself included, is number one thing in life is hold yourself accountable and be honest with yourself. Because if you're not, you're just lying to yourself, and you're going to give yourself reasons to make excuses. Okay, so with that, like I said, the number one thing is I'm like, okay, I didn't tie down appointments, right? So I talked with Jovan, he's great. Justin in the office, amazing. Another thing, guys, I know I wasn't there this week, but definitely get to the office. That's where I learned how to fail. Get to the office. It's an hour and 15 minutes for me. I think it's like 2 hours for Jovan. It's worth every mile. So definitely get there. But
Ric, real quick, not to cut you off, but for those that are not in New Jersey, like Ric, Jovan, and myself, the best thing you can do is get on work spots, because that way, not only will you be able to take advantage of the discounts through the CRM, but you'll also be able to locate the nearest office to you. So if you're out of state, you're not in New Jersey, you're in a different state, get on work spots and you can look for the local FFL office. Like I said, because FFL is a family, they'll be more than happy to welcome you in with open arms, and you'll be able to listen to some veterans in that office and learn from what they're doing, and make your dials around other people, which is always very, very helpful. If there's no office near you, get on the live dials, watch other people, listen to what they say, how they overcome the objections on the phone. So sorry, Ric, didn't mean to jump in. Back to you.
No, awesome, man. And everybody's super nice at the office. Like when I came in, I was honestly a little nervous. I'm sure everybody does. And like, it was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And like, do this, do that. But it wasn't negative. It wasn't like, oh, don't say that. It was like, oh, hey, try to do this, try to say that. So that was huge for me. But yeah, so on top of that, guys, to tie down is the biggest thing for me. And what I did is, you have your script, get good at your script, I'm calling you back, And then if Kevin says, and I give him a day and a time, Kev's like, yeah, 2:00 Wednesday. I always used to be like, okay, great. Get a pen. Here's my number, 2:00. I'll see you later. And that really wasn't tying it down. What ties it down is I'd be like, okay, Kev, so when I come, are you in an apartment or a house? I'm in an apartment. Okay. Do I got to ring a bell, or how do I get in? Is it a gated community? We'll know this. Okay. And, when you filled this out, what was going through your mind? What motivated you real quick? Oh, it was for my daughter. Okay. So that means a lot to you. So guys, make sure you're having a conversation. Just don't get the yes. Be like, okay, I'll see you then. Bye. Because that's what I did wrong. This week, I had a lot less appointments. I had 6. I sat with 3 and 1 rescheduled. And out of the 3, 2 wanted to sign up, but they didn't have bank accounts right now. So hopefully we can figure that out. But, that statistic was a lot higher, guys. So that was huge for me. It's not a huge difference. And I honestly even sometimes throw in, like what I threw in is I actually was like, hey, Kev, I got you down at 2:00. Now there's no reason you won't be there, right? Because, if I don't, if you don't show, my boss gets mad at me, and I get in trouble, at the job or whatever you want to say. And they're like, oh, no, I'll be there. Cause like, again, I forgot, I think it was Stephen Yee, who's amazing. And I watched his phone script, and he's like, look, everybody has a job, everybody has a boss. So people relate to that. So relate to them is like, hey, Kev, my boss is going to yell at me. They're like, oh no, I'll be there. And I had a lot more shows than no shows this week. And then, so that's kind of how to tie down, talk to them. Don't just get the time and leave and get off the phone as quick as you can. That's what I did wrong. Secondly is accountability, guys. I have some sheets. Unfortunately, I'm not like Kevin, who's good at the whole screen sharing things. So Kevin, just see a little training on that. But I'm going to post them on Slack. But I mean, some of you guys can't see, but actually no one can probably see it. But the bottom line, guys, is I have accountability sheets. One is just goals for the week. What's your goals for the week as far as like how many calls you want to make, right? You can't just go into Monday, right, and to dial day and be like, okay, I'm gonna make a lot of calls. Well, what's a lot of calls for Jovan? What's a lot of calls for Kim? What's a lot of calls for me? So you have to know your calls, okay? Appointments as well. Obviously, everybody watches all those trainings, like 15 Monday, 15 Thursday, and in a perfect world, that always works out. Okay, well, I don't think it does all the time. I could be wrong, but here's the thing that you can control, guys, is dials. So what you want to do is set that dial of like, say, 400 break that down to how many hours you're going to work and call. And there you go. And that's honestly what I used to do in my other job. It's like, okay, I need to make 60 an hour. And the minute I hit 60, just go for a little walk, clear your head. And maybe you're on fire, you want to call more. But if you guys kind of see what I'm talking about, I hope that helps out. But it's so simplistic, but be accountable. And every day, you know, like for me, I'm new. Yeah, Mondays and Thursdays are call days, but I could door knock and I could call Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday when I'm out in the field too. You know, I get a no-show. I could dial 50 to 60 numbers. So guys, I have a track sheet that I'm going to post on Slack. You know, you could use it. You don't have to use it, whatever. It's going to help me a ton. The second thing is just a dial tracking sheet that Kev, I think you have that posted on Slack. Download that. And then lastly enough, what I thought is, guys, we run a business. Every week you should have the amount of leads bought, right? How many leads did I buy? Second is, how much did I spend? Okay, those two things are huge. Because guess what? In 4 weeks, if I do this for 4 weeks in a row, I have a system I can look and be like, my good weeks and my bad weeks, what was the main difference? Probably dials, maybe the money I spent, right? I mean, I got a little cheap, I had a bad week, so I tried to cut back. So guys, these are all just generics, but I have a couple pages. When you see them, it'll make sense. And then at the end of the week, go over total appointments, total no-shows, total sits, total closes, and total premium. Because you run a business, so you want to know, obviously, your accounting. And that's what I did along my first couple of weeks. Is I was just like, well, I'm going to dial as much as I can, book as many appointments as I can. My goal is 15, and go from there. And that's where I failed, where now I have a nice system in place where I know what I did Monday all the way through Saturday or Sunday or whenever, you know, whatever my dial, my run days are. So I know that may have been a lot, but when you see the pages, it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, run a business, you know, hold yourself accountable, and don't lie to yourself. You know, if you made, like me, honestly, I made 400 calls, was it 2 weeks ago? And this Monday, wasn't feeling that well. A couple of things went wrong. I only made $160 and I only booked 7 appointments. So, okay, that's understandable though. Now I know I only got 7 appointments. So guys, don't lie to yourself. You're only hurting yourself. No one cares about your numbers. No offense. I mean, we do, but trust me, you care a lot more when it comes to, you know, succeeding, helping families and money. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Kev.
Oh, that was great. And, you know, a lot of the things that like I picked up from Ric are some simple word tracks, like that whole aspect that Stevie D talks about that Ric mentioned about, you know, portraying yourself as an employee. Everybody's got a boss, you know, nobody wants to, you know, pardon my language, but piss off their boss. So when Ric was able to say to, you know, a prospective client, like, listen, is there any reason you're not going to be there? Because if I show up and you're not there, I'm going to get chewed out by my boss. Well, that woman ended up calling him, Ric, if I'm not mistaken, and asked to reschedule because she did not want him to get chewed out by his boss. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was the weirdest phone call started in my 3 weeks. She called me up and literally was like, Ric. I'm like, hello. And she's like, Ric. I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, this is Leslie. She goes, don't come today. Don't come today. I'm like, okay, what's up? And she's like, no, I'm not going to be there. Don't want to get in trouble. She goes, but call me today, like tomorrow, which is today at 4. She goes, I know you said you're going to be back in the area Friday, Saturday. She goes, I definitely want to get this done. So she took my name down, took my number down, and even called me. So yeah, it was pretty cool that happened.
So that right,
it wouldn't have happened the first week.
Right. So that right there is a lot more solid of an appointment than me calling a guy and being like, hey, what time do you get home from work? I get home at 5:30. Great. I'm coming to your house at 7. See you then. Click. And then sure enough, when I showed up at 7, he basically like chased me off the property. So tying down your appointments is key to your success ratio. When you see John Mazzella on the bullpen each and every Monday, John always talks about how important it is to tie down your appointments. He's never going to show up at somebody's house if they don't know he is coming to talk to them about insurance, because why waste your time if somebody's not going to be there? And you know, you're spending money on leads. The last thing you want to do is get no-showed. So making sure you're asking the right questions, and that's one of the things I want to touch on real quick before we get going with Ric is, I think, you know, when you and I were talking, one of the things that you realized was to strengthen your tie downs, you needed to ask more questions. Is that fair to say?
110%, man.
Right. So
yeah,
for the benefit of the newer folks on the call, if you're comfortable with it, what I'd like to do real quick is just a quick role play. You call me, use your script, your call script, what you say when you're on the phone. I'll be the easiest lay down client you've ever had, but then make sure you show how you do the tie downs. All right. So go ahead. Ring, ring, ring.
Okay.
Hello.
So Kevin,
Yeah, this is Kevin.
oh, I'm actually getting a phone call. I'm sorry. Kevin, Kevin, this is Rick. Just giving you a call back. I received some information you submitted online for life insurance. I have your address over as 123 Main Street in Keyport. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. And Kevin, your date of birth, I don't know yours, so I'll use mine. 4/9/1982. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. What's this for again?
Great. Yeah, this is just getting back to you. You submitted an online life insurance form. And again, I have verified your address, but my job's simple. I just need to get this information, verify the data to see what you qualify for. Are you still, are you single, married, or divorced?
Married.
Okay. Retired, disabled, still working?
Still working.
Okay. What time you usually get home at night from work?
Usually around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Okay, great. So I'm actually in your area tomorrow and on Wednesday. I could actually squeeze you in. I don't have 6:30, but I actually have 7 o'clock on Tuesday and actually 7:30 on Wednesday. Does one work better for you than the other?
Oh, well, 7 o'clock, we're usually putting our kid to sleep. So 7:30 would be better.
Okay. And that one's on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay, great. Now go ahead and just grab a pen for me so you know what to expect.
Got
All right,
one.
great. All right, again, so we had Tuesday at 7:30. My name is Rick. I give him my license number, and then put that now. And then what I always tell him is, I'm like, hey, now do me a huge favor. Put that in your calendar, whether it's your phone, because a lot of people now do their phone, whether it's your phone or if you slap it still on the fridge, just do that for me because, things do pop up and sometimes people forget about me. So just do that for me real quick. Tell me when you're done.
Done.
Okay, great. And when I show up, are you in an apartment or a house, Kev?
It's a house.
It's a house. Okay, great. And when you fill this out, is it more for like burial, mortgage, for a loved one?
I just want to make sure my wife and son have somewhere to live if I die.
Okay, perfect. So obviously that's very important to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So again, Kev, I'll let you go. I got you down 7:30 on Tuesday. If anything happens, just let me know. This is my cell phone number, and then I'll see you then. Can't wait to help you out, Kev.
Okay, thanks. See you then.
Thank
Click.
you. All right.
So another couple of quick things to just tie into what Rick did there is, one of the things I like to do when I remember to tie down is have them start to visualize you showing up at their house, right? So I'll describe the car I'm going to arrive in. I'll ask, do you want me to park in your driveway or on the street? At 7:30, it's probably going to be dark outside. Can you make sure you leave the light on for me? Is the number of your house on the house or is it on the mailbox? Now you said your wife's going to be home at that point in time too, right? Yes, my wife's going to be home because I told you my kid was going to sleep. Just make sure you tell your wife that I'm coming so she's not wondering who's this man walking up the driveway with a beard and glasses, things like that. So these are all the things that are going to help you tie down your appointments. I'm going to throw it to Jovan real quick because he had an awesome story from yesterday where he went out and helped a really sweet old lady and did one of the best tie downs by borrowing it from Justin Brown, had an awesome Facebook post, which I think I still have the screenshot for. So I just want Jovan to recap that for everybody. And if I can find it, I'm going to throw it up on the screen. So Jovan, unmute yourself and just give us a quick rundown of how you tied that down.
Yeah. So, I had a pretty good day yesterday and was able to help out a sweet 79-year-old woman get some extra protection for her son. And, like Rick was saying, and Kevin as well, tying down your appointments is really, really important. Mainly because, it's your time to make them remember who you are. So that way, when you show up and I'm like, oh, totally forgotten about you, or they're not even there in general. Right. So, I borrowed something from Justin Brown, one of our top producers in the office. Actually, he's out of FFL Central Division in Pennsylvania, but he's from New Jersey, so he comes to our office. And I was able to hear his phone script. He is an absolute beast on the phones. The guy can make like 30 appointments on one dial day. It's insane. And so one tie down that he says at the end of his phone call after he makes the appointment, He'll say, hey, grab a pen and paper for me. Write down my name, my number, the appointment day and time. And then he says, hey, by the way, before I go ahead and put a heart next to my name. That way, I care. And this woman particularly right here, Arlene, she had put 2 hearts next to my name. And on the phone, she said, I'll put 2 hearts next to your name because I care too. And she actually showed it to me when I got there. And I was like, wow, you actually did that. No one's actually ever showed it to me before. Most times I usually think people are just, okay. But she actually did it. And I thought it was pretty cool. And so I decided to post a picture on there. You'll see too there. I post a picture with all of my clients, everyone that I help at the end of our meeting. I feel like that also solidifies, what we did at the moment, because what we do, what we offer is intangible. So it's really easy for someone to forget who their life insurance guy is or girl is. So I make sure that I take a picture with every person that I help. And then I send that picture to them and I say, hey, save my number in your phone. So when I call you, our picture shows up and it's me. And I do the same thing right in front of them. And the one thing that I also do is I send out a thank you card. I actually got that idea from Kevin. I have a nice big picture of my family. Write them a nice little letter. Hey, thank you for trusting me and helping you protect your family. Mail that out to them after the policy is issued and they're approved. And, that way you want to solidify that you are their insurance person, right? They're going to come to you. You are a trusted advisor. You're not just some sales guy that just knocked on the door, sold them a policy and forgot about them. Most of my clients, a lot of them ask me, hey, are you going to actually call me, and check up on me? And a lot of my clients are elderly, and absolutely I do. About every 3 months, I call them and ask how they're doing, how's the policy going, any questions, any life changes, things like that. So take care of your clients; they'll take care of you.
Great advice, brother. Great advice. So at this point, guys, we're going to open it up for a quick Q&A. Let's see, we got something in the chat. I am not on Slack yet. No worries. We'll get you the link. Does anybody have any general questions for Rick or for me or for Jovan, or we are blessed to have Kim on the call and questions for her? Anybody have any questions at all? Going once. If you do, unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, put it in the chat.
Hey, Kev, can I add some real quick too? Guys,
Absolutely.
calling, like I'm brand new, a couple weeks in. So obviously even I still stutter at times, whatever, but don't care. Just do it. Because the only way you are going to get better at the script is saying the same thing. So keep it in front of you from now until you can memorize it. It's like that. And just do it, guys. Don't overthink it. It doesn't matter because they don't know what your script is. They don't know, oh, I forgot to say this or ask this. And I did that a little bit on Monday. And I'm like, no, just call. So just tune it out. Don't have any emotion. Just that is our duty and our discipline to make calls. That's it. So.
Absolutely. Just do it.
Just do it.
Hello.
Hello. Who's got a question?
Question about the leads. How you guys doing? My
Hey,
name's
good.
Brendan Cody. I'm actually on Long Island.
Nice.
Very
Welcome.
excited to be part of this. I did auto and home insurance probably for about 4 or 5 years with Allstate, and
Nice.
a lot of the phone calling was just dialing out, 300 calls a day. When you don't book those appointments with those leads, now obviously it's different. You're paying for these leads, you're the business owner. What are you doing with those leads after? Are you recycling them? Are you trying to get at them the next week? How is it, it's not just gonna be dead. You spent money on it, right? So What is your technique to recycle those?
Jovan, you want to handle that one first and then I'll dive on it?
Sure, because I actually just went through this with my old leads in September. So with your leads, before John Mazzella is my mentor, and he's notorious for ripping up leads. He has no patience. He does very well. He's a $40,000 a month producer. So, ripping up leads, he doesn't have time for, I got to think about it. It's not, that important to me. He's like, hey, no problem. On to the next one. So I started getting that mentality when I first started too. And to answer your question, Brendan, and everybody else here. So with our CRM, even though whether you lose your leads or whatever, all your leads that you purchase are inside of your CRM. They're yours. You bought them. They're yours. Now with that, in September, what I did was I decided to go back through all those leads. My first lead purchase was in April 4th or 6th. So I went back from April all the way up until August of all my lead purchases. I put them all in phone burner, and all through the month of September, I dialed all of those old leads minus my clients that I already helped out. And in the month of September, I wrote a ton of business just off of those 6 month and they were about 6 months old at the time, back from April. So save your leads, because during the month of September, just from doing that, just those leads alone, not to mention the other leads that I also purchased in the month of September, I wrote $16,000 in business off of those leads. So save your leads. Okay. You can door knock them if they don't pick up the phone. Many people will tell you when you door knock them and you drop them the information off. Yeah, I don't pick the phone up to numbers I don't recognize. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I still need that information.
I'm actually glad you just said that door knock thing, because I was just trying to figure out what other ways there are, because I'm all around. I do real estate as well. I'm literally in the car all day long. So, I was just trying to figure out what's like my best system, what's going to work for me best. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person who I'm not going to just give up on a lead just because I didn't get in touch with them 3 days in a row. You know what I mean? I didn't know, door knocking. That's great. I'm used to that with real estate. I go door to door, just put flyers on people's houses saying I'm looking to buy their house. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Cool. Now, like, for instance, like in New York, it's a little different, like with solicitation and all that stuff. Like, I have a peddler's license. That way I don't get, if someone stops me and is like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, no, I'm allowed to be here. You know what I mean? I'm a salesman. So if there's nothing against that, then cool. That's a even better tool. If I can't get somebody, I'm going to leave you a note on your door. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. And Brendan, to go with that too, FFL actually has, like, on the website where you can purchase like FFL, gear and stuff. They have door knocking slips where you can actually leave
I saw
behind that. And say, and
I
with
went
that
on
too,
yesterday just to.
Right. Like, you also are walking around with a lead in your hand that says,
yeah,
I'm out here because this person requested this. I'm just trying to hunt them down and give them what they asked for.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
All right, cool. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
And to tie into with what Jovan was saying, with older leads, what I started doing, I'm a big binder guy. I love my 3-ring binders from Staples. So I printed out the leads, organized them by the counties in New Jersey that I've been running in, and then I would put them in different notebooks based on county. So if I bought, let's say, I'm sure you're not that familiar with New Jersey counties, but let's say I'm out in Somerset County, I'll bring my Somerset County lead book with me. And if somebody no-shows me, I open up the book, I jump on Road Warrior, and I'll pop in like 5 to 10 of those leads. Road Warrior will optimize a route for me. And now I've got an hour to kill because I, blocked off an hour for that appointment. Now I'll just drive around for an hour door knocking to see if I can either get a same day sale right then and there or set an appointment for another day. So the door knocking is, like, you talk to any of the top producers like a Steve Giordano, and he'll tell you, like, door knocking is essential to building his business. And when it comes to recycling leads, there was a great video by Dean Pavlik who talks about, you bought these leads, you paid for these leads. You need to work these leads until they either buy or they flat out tell you there's no way in heck they're gonna buy. So like Jovan did, where he saved all his leads and went back to them, you absolutely should do that. And door knocking is going to be huge. Like the other day, I door knocked a couple because their lead didn't have a phone number on it. This lead was an aged lead that they filled out this card back in like 2015. And the woman was so grateful that I stopped by and set an appointment with me, because her daughter, son-in-law, and grandson now live with them due to some financial constraints. And they had to cash in their life insurance in order to pay for their daughter's wedding. So her and her husband had no life insurance. So now I have an appointment to go meet with her and her husband again to get them a policy put in place. And then hopefully best case scenario, if they like and are happy with my services, they'll then refer me to the son-in-law and the daughter. So door knocking is huge. I can't speak highly enough about it. We have a section on Slack for door knocking with some great videos. There's one from Paul McLean on there. I use his script when I go door knocking. We'll keep putting more stuff on there as well. So, but good question.
Awesome. Yeah, no,
Kevin,
that's awesome.
can I, sorry, real quick, can I also add in, it on average, statistics show that it takes 7 points of contact before someone is willing to buy something or
Yes.
purchase anything. So that's where dial 1, dial 2, dial 3, door knock, and then start all over again, because that's when the persistency is key. People are like, oh, wait, hold up. This person is really trying to get to me. So let me reach out, let me call again, let me do something. And technically that'll always help out. So door knocking is the last sense, but always dial. You can always go back to that lead a month later too and dial them again when you're in the area. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can work the same leads, especially new agents. We always say work them as many times as you can until you're structured enough where you can reach the John Mazzella point where you're just ripping up leads, because it doesn't matter, because your activity is already so high. So when you're starting, just run through them a couple of times, door knock them a couple of times, because that's where you're going to get them.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kim. That was great advice. All right, folks, it's getting close to the 3 o'clock hour. And Brendan, thank you again for the question. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, anything they want some help with before we wrap up? Going once. Going twice. Oh, I hear some noise in the background. No? Okay, well, in that case, guys, thank you all again for your time today. We love having these meetings each week, trying to help everybody grow their business. Please feel free to reach out to me, Rick, Jovan, Kim on Slack. If you need any help, have any questions, just send us a DM. Keep an eye on Slack. It's the #1 main resource for our team. We're going to constantly be posting updates and content and stuff there to help you grow your business. If you need help getting in touch with a carrier, go to the carrier channel. We got all the phone numbers and websites. If you want some knowledge on the different products we sell, go to product knowledge, review the agent guides for the different carriers and their policies. Everything for the most part you could possibly need, we try to put it up on there for you to make it your one-stop shop for growing your FFL business. That being said, definitely take a look at the training day channel if there's more trainings that you want to jump on and continue to increase your knowledge. And then we will be back here again, same bat time, same bat channel every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'll get better at putting out the agenda ahead of time. Crazy day today. My apologies. I had to take my kid to the pediatrician. Had to stop by the tri-state office for an event and then get to my computer so I could see all your wonderful faces. So next week, Thursday. Otherwise, get back on the phones. It's dial day. Best of luck to everybody who's running
Real
Friday
quick,
and
Kevin.
Saturday. And I'm going to turn it over to Jovan before I say goodbye.
Really quickly, because I know a lot of the people on here are on my team, most of them students. And I just want to ask really quickly, who here is not on Slack? You gotta mute yourself and just say me. Oh, okay. I guess everyone's on Slack. Just wanted to double check.
All righty.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're all good to go then.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for your time. Have a great day and enjoy the weekend.